What's hacking? It's Quackin. Welcome back to another episode. This time we are talking about the Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, the Blade of Light, 30 years of Fire Emblem. So this was something that came out in 2020. It was just like the, kind of like the Super Mario All-Star, 3D All-Stars collection. Everyone made a big clamor about, oh, this is a limited time thing. Freaking Nintendo created a classic case of supply and demand. In this case, it was digital goods that, were disappearing forever. But, so this is kind of an odd special edition right here. So, you don't really see this in Nintendo games, what usually happens. There is a digital game code in here. There's no physical game. It's simply just there's a digital game code, but there's no once you claim that, it's just a box of goods. It's just a thing to celebrate. And it's something you don't really see on Nintendo. It's something you see out of other companies sometimes. But getting right into this. And I absolutely hate these kind of seals right here because it's very easy to, well, it's also hard to open these up apparently without bending this. But I do really like the design of this box. I guess we'll take a look at the box completely. That kind of spoils what's in there, but we'll get in here soon enough. But it's a really pretty freaking nice box. But getting in here, first and foremost. Let's see what decides to pop out first. So we have the art book. And I should say I got this on launch. I got lucky. It was in December 2020. I think this is December 4th, 2020 this released. But here we have the art book. And the art book is pretty freaking nice, I have to say. Look at this. Legacy of Arcanea. I think that's the region of Marth. I really think this is I'm not really one for art books. They're kind of like the include that because in everything. It's just in everything. I remember there was a Link's Awakening art book special edition that only had an art book, and then in Europe it was really, it was much better. This special edition, it was actually cool. I don't really remember looking too much into this. I thought that was Zeke right there, but no. I know some of these characters. I should say I haven't beaten this game. I've tried many times to beat the original Fire Emblem. It's funny because this is definitely the most re-released Fire Emblem out of any. But there's the art book right there. Getting more into things. Next, we have a styrofoam kind of layout, look. I forgot all about this. Wow, this is actually really freaking cool. I forgot about this box as well. So this is what's really neat. First off, I'll show the download code right here. So from what I understand, if you still had this, and I was kind of thinking this would be the case if you still had this download code unused, which I used mine because I'm I'd like to actually play this game. Why would I buy it a second time? I know there's people out there, that buy an amiibo and they leave it sealed. It's basically the same premise right here, but this is a pretty stupid thing of Nintendo to do. They're a multi-million-dollar company. This is a special edition anyways. Honestly, you really have to wonder how much not having an actual physical game influenced the sales of this. Pretty sure this sold out right away though. Still, I think regardless if there would have been a physical game or not, people would have still bought this because it's a Nintendo product. It's a Nintendo product, but. On the side, my code is claimed, so I'm going to set that aside. But that's what the sheet looks like of yeah. But so this is actually really cool. As someone who doesn't have a lot of NES boxes, I have an NES box. Actually, I can compare it to at least. So this is actually something I do for a future video. This is my Dr. Mario NES box. It's unfortunately sun faded. It looks to be the same size of an NES box. So I think that's actually it's more or less the same size. A little. I think it's essentially the same size. It's essentially the same size. There's a little. Yeah, it looks like an NES box. It looks like an NES box. Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. Take up your sword. and cleave the path to victory. After 100 long years, the Shadow Dragon, Medius, has reawakened, and the Dark Pontifex, Garnith, is his dread ally. Fight your way across the continent of Arcanea, recapture Falchion, or Falcion, I forget how, the anime says it weird. The Stolen Blade of Light, and bring peace to the land. Prince Marth will never complete his quest without your help. And then there's Spanish, and there's some screenshots. So this is, I will say, one difference of this, though, even though there's no physical copy, is there's an actual download. Like, this essentially acts like a virtual console game. This is like the only virtual console like download you can have, because, you know, of course we have Nintendo Switch Online. Instead of putting this on Nintendo Switch Online, this is actually the first like official release of the original game. This game was never released in English until the digital release with this, and of course this was the special thing. You could have bought the game standalone, but it was delisted on March 31st, 2021. It was $10. Of course, usually NES games like this would go for $5, but they included an official like Nintendo tax, kind of like Mother 1 or Earthbound Beginnings, as it was translated over here. At least that, but yeah. So some, you know, of course, people criticize this for there being lackluster features. It's Nintendo. You know, once again, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. I think they should have made like an actual physical, but you know, let's just get right into the box. Let's freaking dent the box. I'm gonna have like a heck of a time not. These boxes are always so hard not to dent. Okay, yeah, I see. That's gonna make me roll in my grave. I don't know if I just did that or what, but like, it's always so hard with these kind of boxes to not do that. But next up, this is where the real challenge is right here. So this is interesting. The whole reason I'm doing this is because this is the second cartridge like this. I think this is a very fingerprinty. Yeah, it's going to get fingerprinted. I had some concern right here. This is the second replica cartridge that is like being released. And the whole reason I'm doing this is because there's an NES World Championship Edition cartridge, replica cartridge that's being released, you know, to celebrate the World Championships. And it's kind of cool because how are you going to get like a freaking, you know, World Championship cartridge? Those things are like probably tens of thousands of dollars now. Definitely thousands of dollars, limited quantities. But this is glass. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this feels like glass. This is interesting how it is. I think this is really cool. Of course, not a real cartridge. I think Nintendo even put like a little thing on there to say like, hey, you know, warning, this isn't a real cartridge. This feels a little more flimsy. I don't remember. I know I have all this stuff. I should have had it at ease, but this feels a little flimsy compared to the actual like dust protector. Alright, so I got an NES cartridge as an example to this right here as I continue to fingerprint it up. It seems to be, you know, about the same size. There's no like indentation right there, but they got like the, you know, the marks, like, you know, to show that. A little arrow right there to show where you put the cartridge in. Of course, I got the one that Andrew from the Game Display I think would like those. So actually the art is just kind of like a paper piece right there, but yeah, overall, I think this is a really cool looking cartridge. Of course, it sucks that it's not an actual NES cartridge. Like, people are making homebrews all the time. You know, Nintendo, like, they could have made this a functional cartridge. They could have, but I guess it's more so for the practicality purposes. Like, it's like everything, like, you feel just shy of making this perfect. And I should have probably saved this for last. I couldn't find the dust cover. I'm pretty sure this is close enough to an actual, but it does feel different. It does feel a little off compared to that, but I guess it is nice that they have this dust cover because this is a it's fingerprint heavy. It's fingerprint heavy. But I do think, I'm just looking at this box, it's I can't believe it's been like nearly 4 years since I pulled this out. I was just looking at this box. This definitely is like just really cool to have as like an NES. Someone who has a lot of NES games. This is just something nice to put on my shelf. You know, if I had like an amazing NES collection like Andrew from the Game Display. And speaking of with that, you know, Star Tropics 2, I think right here. Oh, and I forgot about that. Okay, so this is interesting. I think this was actually in the box, but this is like the instruction manual. I never did read this, so this is actually really cool. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, everything is in here. Everything except for the actual game, like the physical game. Just a replica. This is really neat. I always love like what these manual, like when you open things up like this, they smell really nice. Now you see, look, there's even the NES control. Like, it makes you feel even more like this is like a game that like should have been released in a cartridge. But overall, I don't have an NES manual to show this off. Unfortunately, I wish I got that. I just saw that dust cover as well, but I'm pretty sure it's about the same quality. But I can't say I've ever really like read this manual too much. And usually in NES manuals they'll cover. Actually, I do have an NES manual, but I don't have it in front of me. This I feel usually NES manuals I thought are more like horizontal than vertical. So this is a little odd. I feel it definitely feels a little more modern, but this is something that, like, you know, you wouldn't just see like a manual in something. So I think this is really, you don't see like these manuals in games, and the sad part is this is all Spanish. So like a lot of this is really just all your manual. The rest of this is just, you know, another language. It is at least nice that they, you know, have that for people, but yeah, so this is interesting. You probably saw this, and this could be a good poster right here. This could be, I like how it says volume 11.5. So they have like a Nintendo Power insert kinda like poster. Let me see if I can get like a nice, like, larger view of all this. So yeah, Nintendo Power, Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, The Blade of Light, Counselor's Corner, Recruiting and Shopping in Arcanea, classified info, top secret sound test. So there's some cool, you know, hints and stuff. The source from NES players straight from the pros, aka straight from Nintendo, straight from the source, more like. Now this is more horizontal. Hey, we got Nestor right there. Should I recruit Samson or Aaron? In Chapter 16, you'll have the opportunity to recruit Samson and Aaron into Marth's army. However, since these two units are from rival villages, you're only able to add one of them to your army. Once you recruit one of them, the village home of the other will bar its gates to you. Oh, well, that's interesting. Oh, wow. So you'll need to choose wisely. You should have a fairly sizable army at this point. But this is a chance to recruit a unit that might fill battles against mounted units. So this weapon can also be passed on to other units if you don't want. So I think they're talking about the Beast, the Beast Killer. I think it's like a different name, or the Rider Killer in like the original game. And so we have a sound test and ending. After completing a chapter and saving the game, we ask Anna, would you like to continue playing? Say no. Next input a hidden code. So there's like almost like a Konami code there. And press start during the sound test to show the game's battle animations. Oh, that's kind of cool. So it's kind of like you can show the animations and stuff. Press select during the sound test to see the ending. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize, you know, that was the case. And I just realized the sad part of this. I do remember now. The memories are kind of flooding back now. Like, this is just Spanish. And of course there's no real back. So this is more like it's neat because this is like as if the game was released like, you know, during the NES era, late 80s, early 90s kind of stuff. I always think of the NES as you know, 80s. Really, it's a 90s console as well. But this definitely could be like a cool poster to hang up somewhere. But yeah, then I think lastly, this is pretty cool for people who are a big fan of this game. There is a map, and I'm gonna unfold this. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought. So here's another thing that you could like make as a poster, and this is smaller. This is the sad part. This is smaller than freaking what do you call it? The Nintendo Power article. So the continent of Arcanea. You know, we got the Altian Union Desert Region. Florian Empire. I remember I really liked the anime for this. It covers the Super Nintendo version more so, but that version is kind of like, it's got a remake, and then it's got like Fire Emblem 3 in it. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's like they've remade this. They've released this game so much. You got the original Famicom release, then you've got the SNES, or the Super Famicom release of you know, the kind of the remake of this game, along with like the FE3 continued story. Then you've got the DS remake. Then you've got the one that was released on this one right here. So there's like, you know, 4 different releases of this game, and of course it's always like the first one that's the case. This one, of course, stars Martha. You couldn't tell already. So this is kind of neat. They got some stats right here. It looks like, once again, they just kind of they like, I don't know, like they translate things with like a different language, and it once again takes that space. It kind of ruins the purpose of this. Like that's kind of sad. But with that being said, then, so what do you think of the Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon Blade of Light Special Edition? I think overall it's a really cool, just special edition in general. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you hyped for the NES Championship Edition? Special edition. I'm going to be getting that because this really reminded me of that. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and